This is a public announcement. You? Yes, you. What's that you're eating? It looks lovely.
In the Hutton Infirmary, Nurse Wyeth has been busy all week applying mugs to the affected parts of various visiting truckers. The unlucky ones get cold sponge. The really unlucky ones get given care in the form of an entire back catalogue of dockers. There are more coughs than the annual Let's start again. There are more coughs than the annual Comitres Cigar Lovers Convention. There are higher temperatures than the Northern Europe in the 21st century. And someone has a nasty itch. But throughout all this, and the tender ministrations of the lady with the lump hammer, a voice could be heard drifting over the hospital PA.
Our mics are live! Phew! We're back. It's us. We're still here. Rumours of our cancellation were much exaggerated. We've got Norma and the Apology Officer and Juan Kerr and special guest Yorkshireman Willie B. Hardigan and, of course, me, Rudolph Hucker.
Cancellation? You mean we were heading the way of Firefly Season 2? And all the rest of the John Carter off Mars films? Who would dare?
Well, that's the impression I got from somewhere.
No, you big dough bender. That was Lavecon, and even they aren't really cancelled. Crosswires.
Crosswires? What have they got to be cross about? They've been laid perfectly straight.
What? Who got laid?
Right, I'm really confused now.
Maybe Palantir and Harry Ballsack retiring has discombobulated everything.
I know. News. That fixes everything.
You wouldn't like me when I'm hanky.
Food heist leaves children starving.
Going for silver. Final score.
Too hot, too messy. Preparation begins.
Summer of Love leaves live lingerers with lurgy.
Having had a week off, it's time to get back to the BGS.
And the community has news for us.
Fresh back from Lavecon, there are rumours of some outrageous PvP. And PvP activity that went on during the weekend, courtesy of a few truckers who, given the heat, went the full Monty at a number of the station's staff. After an incident whereby the bar staff at the fleet carrier providing the drinks decided they'd use a megaphone to address patrons. Of course, they weren't selling drinks, they were promoting their own brand of bring and buy sale for cat videos. Commanders Rampage and Hanky misunderstood the shouting, assumed they'd walked into an on-foot combat zone, unshouldered their Aphelions and began shooting the place up. Rampage whopped out his arc cutter and started chopping the locks off all the doors. Hanky used the overload tool on the air conditioning, and the two of them made their way up to the fleet carrier command deck, whereby they tied up the commanding officer with gaffer tape and challenged the entire security team to a game of knuckles. The visiting Hutton Special Ops School of Ninja team, who were also present, mistook the incident for a training session and proceeded to issue lessons in unarmed combat to anyone standing next to them, resulting in the docking area, where the car park bar was in full swing, looking like one of those naturalist videos where a pair of silverback gorillas are going at it hammer and tongs. And before anyone mishears the previous sentence, I said naturalist, not naturist, as that would have painted an entirely different picture. Which is what happened with Snuggles McKeague and a number of the Hutton regulars, including Commanders Bam, Deadmeat and P. Driver, when they attempted to prove that not only does the spoon actually exist, the big spoon is actually a thing. Oh, and Commander Taran, hearing this discussion and mistaking it for one of those parties, duly went the full buck naked and, well, there are some things that will be burned into our memories long into the future. Moof and Cow have had to go for a lie down in a darkened room. Suffice to say, Commander Hanky, mild-mannered taxi driver and cheese grandmaster, went the full Hulk. He turned green, his clothes stopped fitting, and he was picking people up by their mag boots, switching the mag boots off and then throwing them around the bar carrier. The incident was quietly wound down by the application of the contents of an ice bucket by Montgomery Python, cooling everyone off enormously. There were sore heads the next day.
We've had a complaint from Mrs. Softly Hugging's home for Waifs and Strays that a number of her wards had been left hungry and crying after someone claiming to be the owner of the 10th Fleet carrier had interdicted their dinner and ever so cruelly scoffed enough pie to feed all 20 of them in one sitting. Why the complaint came to Hutton rather than to the headquarters of the 10th Fleet is anybody's guess. Well, okay, they don't have a headquarters, and we suppose that as administrators of Barnard Star, it rather does fall upon us to dish out justice. It appears that the 10th Fleet carrier arrived in system and, not paying any attention to the waiting orphans awaiting food beacon, which had been there for days, fired up their own "Bring me pie" beacon, a few hundred megameters nearer than theirs, and the incoming food convoy duly unloaded the pie, which was then set upon by the 10th Fleet carrier crew with gusto. I didn't know he was there. The rest of the carriers that arrived at the same time had politely put up beacons like "roast beef and Yorkshire style puddings please, at your convenience," and "another pale ale if you wouldn't mind old fruit," and were happy to wait their turn. If you wanted any more proof that the 10th Fleet carrier carries dastardly rotters stealing food from the mouths of orphans is about as rotten as you can get, and to whoever's carrier it is, we say, you are so mean.
Well, they thought it was all over, and it is now. At the end of the current squadron event, Going for Gold 3, Hutton took silver in the squadron competition. The Winged Hussars took the gold with a laudable 20.7 billion points, but only after being psychologically conned into spaffing up all their Carto data reserves after being targeted by the Hutton PsyOps Mind Games operatives at Lavecon. A mix-up like that hasn't happened since Lord Reversley Widdershins yelled up the ante whilst playing cards against the night shift, and poor Ethel got a surprise that she won't long forget. Hutton took the silver with 13.8 billion points ahead of Explorers of the Anarchy, who took the bronze with 12.1. Enjoy your new silver trophy dashboard wobbly hologram, even if you didn't take part. 72 truckers contributed data to the overall effort, and the final standings can be viewed on the Going for Gold events page at hot.forthemug.com/goingforgold. Commander Chicks took the top spot with 36 billion credits banked, second was Montgomery Python with 3.9 billion, and third was Waller 81 with 3.4 billion credits. 7 commanders banked more than 1 billion credits of Carto data during the competition and qualified for a Going for Gold 3 event patch as per tradition. The other 4 with more than 1 billion credits were Commanders Guthwine, Bam, Happy Moon Monkey, and Poppy. Alvin has of course declared that silver was always his intention, as he liked variety treats and would be very grateful if next time we could add a bronze one to the trophy cabinet. He's a completionist, or very, very cunning. Next time we might try something with absolutely no opposition, like CQC. Congratulations to the Winged Hussars for A, spotting that we were doing it. Okay, it's not as if we were broadcasting it every week for the last 2 months. And B, failing to spot that winning also came with a signed commitment to support the Too Hot, Too Messy project with the same enthusiasm. Welcome aboard. Huzzah!
Talking of Too Hot, Too Messy, whilst the formal launch date hasn't been nailed down any better than after GFG3 and probably at the end of the month, which is a little over a week away, Hutton's production drive has swung into full swing. Type 9s have been dispatched to the HIP 22460 system to gobble up the remains of just about any ship that hasn't been covered in green goo whilst combating Tharg the Mighty and his mighty minions, and drag them back to the orbital ready to be ground into small scrap, then hammered into ever popular and also recognisable Hutton mugs ready for delivery around the galaxy. Was that really all one sentence? Whew. With over 1,000 tons of scrap delivered for each Hutton mug made, commanders are reminded that losing to Tharg is to the benefit of the whole galaxy. The mission to bring 1 mug and 1 ton of Centauri magazine to every station in the galaxy. Yes, that also means the planetary ones. Everything with a market, dodgy barman, black market. A timescale? We'd be really grateful if everyone got it done by Christmas. The reason? Mods. Mods is bad. Mugs cure mods. Job done. The reward? Well, we're working on that. Or Mr. Shouty is. But the main reward will be for the company of friends whilst you hunt down far-flung settlements, arrive and shout, "For the mug!" Then listen for the inevitable reply. The Too Hot, Too Muggy team, that means you. No matter what squadron you represent, look after your own systems, see if like the Winged Hussars in Going for Gold 3 you can come out on top as top truckers, or as an individual are you the greatest pilot, delivery pilot in the galaxy. No, I'm sorry you were out, cards. No, in the drop kicking it over a passing moon and marking it as handed to residents. No hiding it in the trash compactor on bin day. Just get the Hutton helper ready. Load your ships and carriers up with mugs and get ready for the go. Are we getting together to load up? Yes. We are actively recruiting pilots across all time zones to act as Too Hot, Too Messy teabaggers, squeezing the metaphorical last bit out of the stealing hot bag and loading up passing ships regularly. Keep your eyes on the galactic forums and Galbook for information on when loading days are. Are there any bonuses? Well, all runs to Hutton will be logged in the Hutton Helper as well. So there's the opportunity to have a go at the record, especially as there will be people at the other end acting as a beacon if needed. So, get ready to get hot, Hutton Orbital trucking. Get ready to get messy. That's mug every single station, y'all. And get ready for the biggest challenge this galaxy has ever thrown us.
You know those plaques that hang on kitchen walls with inspirational, unattributable quotes in them? Live long and prosper. Wherever the dog lies his head, that's my home. And the ever-present, who ate all the pies? Well, there's one doing the rounds. Love, live and leave with a little lurgy. Before we explain where this one came from, we'd like to reassure everyone that all reasonable steps were taken to ensure that everyone was safe during last week's party. Mr. Cow had an alcohol gel mister running behind the curtain, explaining the rude chicken noises. Mr. Moof wore his thargoid-proof encounter suit. Attendees were all encouraged to stick a testy thing in an orifice before going. Attendees were also regularly gagged, masked, and asked to wear their remlocks. Hand washing was in. Hugging was optional. Despite this, a minor outbreak of mods was reported, appearing to originate somewhere in the "You Sunk My Battleship" part of the event. It appears that an outbreak of Upsilon variant mods was passed between a number of visitors. Tests have been completed on a number of playing cards which appear to have been dipped in neat mods, UPS variant, and passed between players. Luckily, this has been limited to Commander Chicks, who is broadcasting his bit of the show from within his safety bubble, Amelia, who dealt it, Sandrine, who smelt it, and Cully, who pointed the finger. The culprit, who brought up the mods cards to the table, is yet to be found, but rumours are that there was a voice that could be heard leaving Lavecon saying,
"This is what you get by not inviting the Don to your party, you rotten Hutton truckers."
The Hutton BGS news is back after having a week off due to Lavecon, and due to Lavecon, we have a week off. Space mods to be precise, but not any old space mods, the latest viral strain of space mods, that is Omicron 2 Eridani. None of your old rubbish Alpha Centauri mods or Delta Pavonis mods, but the very latest kind you can catch off the seat in Cubicle 3. Add that to a long list because I'm collecting the full set. This week in Hutton Space, we had another seriously pointless war that nobody noticed had started, or indeed ended. A very dry spell, some space blight, and an outbreak. More on those stories coming up. Seemingly suffering from long mods after the outbreak 3 weeks ago, Epsilon Eridani is still struggling to get back on its feet from 34%. That's still pretty low, but sufficiently ahead of the Mad Monks of Van Marnen on 20. A minor civil war in the system is tying up 16% of influence, but let's take this opportunity to boost the system back up into the 40s where it belongs. Barnard's Star is still basking in the temporary glow of not being bottom of the pile, just about a whole point higher on 35. A war amongst the also-rans is tying up a fifth of the system's influence, but keep chipping away as Hutton's fortunes there are making a steady improvement. Home of his great fluffiness, Alvin Deefer, Alpha Centauri is suffering from another wave of blight, shipping agronomic treatment in order to relieve the situation. Earlier, at the Hutton Bar, mutterings were overheard about mange. Let me tell you now that if any trucker dares utter this heinous accusation in public, they will be on Cubicle 3 duty before they can drag their arse across the carpet, lift their back leg and scratch themselves behind the ear. Somehow, mods had spread itself from Lavecon via Studio 5 to Wolf 25, where an outbreak has taken hold of the system and paralysed the commodity markets. Commanders are asked to ship in medical supplies to alleviate the situation and reopen the markets. PSPF-LF2 has gone dry. Yes, Dead Meat's favourite system nickname is dry and needs a bit of lubrication. Truckers are asked to ship in water to the large pads in Leningrad Orbital, where Commander Aiden's fleet carrier Alvin's Mercy is on station with supplies of H2O. Alternatively, you could BYO, or bring your own. Now you know why suitcases are sized in litres. Oh, excuse me, just a moment. I've just received news that the dryness has passed, and as far as my list of adverse states go, I can rub that one out. Between this and the latest BGS news update 2 weeks ago, Sirius Corporation have started and lost yet another war with Hutton in Avic. Some folks really don't learn, do they? The latest war in a series of 6, or is it 7, I've lost count, concluded earlier this afternoon with a 4-1 win for Hutton. Well done to retired Navy IT-1 and others who helped secure the victory. Still feeling a bit muzzy and lethargic after the mods outbreak, which hit it over a month ago, our most popular system, Epsilon Indy, has valiantly made it up to 38%. At the overachieving end of the Hutton Systems table, we have one system above 60% and two over 70%. Has someone been dumping going for gold data in our only LYR system? Priorities this week are, if you want to truck something, relieve the blight in Alpha Centauri and relieve the outbreak in Wolf 25. Boost Epsilon Eridani and Barnard Star. If you want to shoot something, how about rethinking your life choices? Choose peace, choose Onion Head, choose a hauler.
My goodness, people get up to some fun things, don't they? I'm amazed that they've had time to tell us about them, but I imagine it's because they want you all to hear how good their adventures are, and maybe inspire you to join their events, or even to set up one yourselves. This week we have news from Does the Sun Still Rise in the East, and Chicken Run 2, Crash Harder. Links for these events will be posted in the chat and also in the description of the YouTube upload. Commander the Presence's curiosity-fueled trip to the edge of the galaxy and his ale-fueled trip to the bathroom have both been proceeding apace, as he explains in Does the Sun Still Shine in the East, Week 20.
It really feels like I'm getting homewards now, despite I still have 35,000 plus light years to go. The reason for this, I've now left Lyra's song by entering Hawking's Gap, and I didn't even have to buy him a drink. Talking of drink, I've now quaffed an impressive 768 pints of Nunga Ale since leaving Magellan's Star, and that's only 4 short of the amount Flossy drank at Lavecon 2022. And she still beat me 2 out of 3 times in an arm wrestling contest. All is not 100% rosy in my garden though, as in my own inebriated silliness I asked for the lovely Sally Morgan Moore to twat me for the Twatted by Sally EDSM badge. I'll have one Commander I'll have one Commander Janagu hasn't got then. Not that I'm competing, of course, and 2 memories struggle through my foggy recollection of the meeting. One is I must have asked really nicely as she said yes, and the other was something about not having to find her. She'll find me with FDev magic. Is it true what they say? Every silver lining has a cloud? I'm 4,000 plus light years away from my next waypoint for the DSSA Spartacus, which has the required facilities for me to offload all my exobiology data, and I'm talking about enough data to get me the Class 5 Inara badge. Or get mightily close, and that's without at least 1 promotion to Elite 3, if not 4. This and the ale are starting to give me nightmares. And these are not the sort of dreams Sally I want or I'm used to. She is lovely after all. Every day now is a race to Spartacus in an effort to offload before I'm offed. Hopefully, I'll see you all next week, not from Magellan's Star again. TTFN 07.
Commander Alec Turner of the Buckyball Racers has news of the exciting Chicken Run 2 event subtitled Crash Harder.
Starting this Saturday 23rd July and running until the following Sunday 31st July, Chicken Run 2 Crash Harder is the 6th race in the Buckyball Racing Club's Magic 8 Ball Championship. In this race we focus on gravity, specifically landing at a series of planetary ports, each with increasing amounts of the stuff, all while transporting delicate cargo. Racers have the option to chicken out at any point after the second base for a stiff penalty, or can choose to push on through to the bitter end for a potentially even stiffer one. No, not that, you smutty bunch. Death! Commanders interested in finding out more can either sniff around the loading docks at Noriega Station and LTT 2151 system, or follow the link in the Buckyball Racing Club's website, buckyballracing.org.uk.
And what's more, he's got a nice little video to go with this, explaining what it's all about. Run, VT.
For those of you wondering what's on screen at the moment, that's actually the speed that Alec Turner flies and the speed that he speaks. Ouch, yes. That one was a bit rough.
It was. Oh, I know. 3.99. Oh.
Oh, night vision on this next one. Oh, that was a miss. Oh, that was a miss.
Station services information update obtained.
And that's it from the community for this week. Don't forget, if you've got an exciting mission, an update on an existing one, or something you want us to read out, join the Hutton Discord, grab one of the admins and show your press badge. We'll press it, then stuff you in the correspondence channel where you can tell us about it. And yes, that's different to how we were doing it before, because Palantir left and he ate the keys to the mailroom.
Well, we survived that. Oh dear, oh dear.
Oh dear.
And that is a week off, not big cough, no. Well,
that was all relatively seamless.
We've had a week off.
We have had a week off. Right, let me go. Let's put some ships
You've
up
had
on
the
the
big
screen.
cough.
Yep, we've got a Cobra Mark III on the screen at the moment. Right, well, welcome back to Hutton Orbital Live from the radio show, not from Lave. We just about survived the Lave visit. Just about. Obviously, terribly sorry we can't be joined by Amelia this evening, because Amelia has got mods, along with Sandrine. And obviously, we're not going to say sorry about Palantir because he quit. No. So you can't play on this one.
Who doesn't have mods?
Yes, we also have somebody who doesn't have mods. The Gal Jude and Beetle Spoon don't have mods, but their internet caught mods and completely failed, or Wotherspoon's did. Beetlejude's didn't. But anyway, Wotherspoon, yes, his internet caught mods, and it's feeling poorly, so was not able to send us his marvellous words for this week. So we will not be doing either the Galnet Rares or the Galnet News, so they've got a week off as well. So, we survived the weekend.
Just about, yes.
So I'll introduce the audience here and ask them to say what their highlights were. Obviously, special super guest star this evening is Commander Rampage. Good evening, Commander Rampage.
Good evening.
And your highlight from the weekend?
It's got to be Kung Fu in the car park bar.
It was the full Hutton Ninja, wasn't it?
It was awesome. Car park bar.
There was us sort of chatting with Monty P and inspecting the icy chilled car park bar and talking with Graham Snuggles McKeague about a project, which we're not going to mention anything about yet. We turned round. Next thing we know, there is Commander P Driver and a certain Commander Rampage. It looked like extreme violence, but it looked very controlled.
It was controlled demonstration and having a little bit of play with techniques whilst absolutely being tanked up on the car park.
Well, yeah, the car park part, yes. Obviously, if anybody who wasn't one of the Hutton truckers had walked into the car park at this point, all they'd have seen is two guys having a fist fight. But there was no screaming, there was no red on anybody.
No.
At all. Well, look, thank you very much for joining us this evening, Rampage. I do understand you might be joining us 2 weeks in a row.
It looks like it, yes. I'll be there next week.
Well, we're certainly very glad to have you aboard. And then Commander Flossy.
Yes.
Pick one, and you have to pick only one. Your one highlight.
Oh, my one highlight.
I think I know what it
choose from. Well,
you posted about one that you went squee over.
Well, there's a couple of things I posted about. There was my collection mug, and there's the aardvark.
Yeah, well, yes. Well, do tell us about. And obviously, if people have watched this, they know all about it. Tell us about your big bucket first.
Yes. Well, often at past events, I've been collecting for various charities, like Wear It Pink for breast cancer, and I did the poppies for the British Legion poppy sales, and I've just used one of their cardboard boxes to do the collecting in. But it seems that Psycho Cow and Move decided that I needed a proper collection mug, so they presented me with a pink one, which had a picture of Florence in the Magic Roundabout, which is who I was named after. I was when I first started playing my first game of Air Warrior way back in 1998, I had to choose a name. Wrong Way, my husband's Wrong Way was already playing, but his name was actually Zebedee in that game, and I wanted something associated with Zebedee, so I had a choice of either Florence or Ermintrude, and I chose Florence, which later became Flossy. And I've been Flossy in every game I've played ever since.
But
so
not only that,
Florence.
there was a little poem written on the side of it, wasn't there?
Well, yes, there was something written on it. In fact,
now, do you want to read it, or do you want one of us to really menacingly read it as well? Because I'm trying to find it as well.
Yeah, I'll have to find it again.
Well, we'll give you a minute to find that one, because we'll read that at the end of me interrogating you. And your other highlight...
Yes, the other highlight...
which we are going to completely blame on the apology officer.
What?
I was presented with a bag with a picture of an aardvark on it, and inside were 2 aardvark books.
Aardvark.
One was like a sort of exercise book called My Spirit is an Aardvark.
Aardvark.
My spirit animal is an aardvark, yes.
Yeah. And an aardvark colouring book.
Aardvark.
Yes.
Because of my...
There were also on the desk in front of you...
Aardvark. Yeah.
And of course there was a collection of aardvarks doing things to each other in front of me, and one of them
and one
was
hippo
ceremoniously picked up and handed to me.
Yeah.
Just
what
in
was
case.
What to it again? What creature was it again? I missed it. I just needed to repeat that.
Aardvark!
Yeah, if you hadn't told us you were fed up with the aardvark, it never would have happened, and I'm going to completely blame the apology officer for absolutely everything to do with that.
That's all right. I'll just write a report, blame it on Rampage.
Blame it all on Rampage,
yes.
yes.
As is tradition.
Yes. Well, anyway, but both things were very gratefully received. It was a great surprise, and I'll
you will treasure your hippo forever.
My aardvark forever.
Yes.
Aardvark.
Definitely. Yeah. I was trying to find the picture of your magnificent collection bucket there, but it wasn't in there. Was it on the Hutton page you put it?
It was my own page, so I'll just check my own page.
So it was under it was aha.
Yes.
Let's try and find your. There we go. Do you want to read the little poem, or would you want to, like one of us, to menace it out to people?
Go on, you read it.
No, I can see added 5 photographs. Here we go. You said I've taken photographs where everybody had difficulty reading the text. It is transcribed below. The text as written on Flossy's thing, it puts the money in the tin, or it gets the O's again. I don't know who you are. I don't know what you want. If you're trying to avoid donating, I can tell you I never have enough money. But what I do have is a particular set of skills. Skills I've acquired over a very long career. Skills that make me a nightmare for a person like you. If you put the money in the tub now, that'll be the end of it. I will not look for you. I will not pursue you. But if you don't, I will look for you. I will find you. And I'll ask you again. There we go, Flossy.
Yeah, brilliant. And all this writing on the side and all the design and everything was apparently Wolf's work.
Well,
So-
yeah, and obviously, thank you so much to all those people because you thought it was a present for you, so you had it in your hand and you were walking around going,
Oh,
"Wow, look at what
yeah.
I've got!" And because it's got a little slot on the top, people kept putting money in it, and you said,
Yeah.
"No, it's not for that." Oh, go on then, and and you actually did a load of fundraising for charity by showing
Yeah.
off your new tub.
Yeah, accidentally it started, but once it started, well, now you put money in, now it's to continue. So I'll have to have something to give it to.
Well, it was
and
all
of course the obvious answer was special effects.
Well, yay! Woohoo! £63 on top of the total that they're raising.
Yeah.
So awesome job, well done. Well, look, thank you. I'm going to move along to the next victim if he's finished coughing through in his little bubble over there in the corner. Come on, chicks.
Yes, that's why you keep seeing me mute.
Yes, well, that's why I thought I'd cue you up on that one. If you had to pick one,
Oof, so difficult. The zombie side was fun.
were you door camping?
No, I was rushing towards them with twin, sort of akimbo sawn off double-barrel shotguns, blasting them in the face and then running away. Mowing them down in waves. I was. Yeah, that was fun. The other card game we played was good fun. Mugging then hugging Sally, of course, was a bit of a highlight.
Well, yeah, absolutely. I think we do have. Well, we're going to mention that one in a minute. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll show that one off in a minute.
You should have done me last. Yeah, it was good all round fun. I thought we're going to do the Frontier live stream at some point as well. That
We
was
are going to
okay,
mention that one because there was
but
one
it
last week.
did get hot in that room.
Oh
Though.
my goodness, did it get? I melted.
Yeah.
I was sort of tipping liquid into my face, and it kept coming out everywhere except where it normally comes out of.
Yes.
Yeah, it was just nice to see everybody. You know, it's good to have a chit chat.
I think that's been the overwhelming feedback from the entire weekend.
Yeah.
Is regardless of what you were up to or what was going on, just seeing everybody again. My goodness, it was awesome to see everybody again, and all the people tuning in online as well. So
Yeah,
the apology
yeah.
officer,
Yes.
pick one.
Yes. Pick one. Nobody else has picked one, so I'm not going to pick one either.
We'll pick two.
I'll pick some.
choose a hauler.
Yeah, choose a hauler, choose life. I'd like to. It was fantastic doing Hutton Live because I've never done Hutton Live as one of the radio crew before. We did Rampage and I did a wee thing at one point.
I hadn't realised you hadn't joined us on stage on any of them before. Because
No,
obviously you took over the job, and then we had
Yeah.
lockdown.
Yeah.
you had
But the last
three
time we did
versions there.
Rampage and I did a little skit at one point in front of the stage at 2019 Lavecon. But
I did the radio crew in 2019.
yeah.
Amelia was
but
first timer as well.
Yeah, Amelia was the first
And
time
me.
as well. So I'd never done that, and the lovely Mr. Shouty offered me a small part in Dockers.
Oh, you and I
As
double
well.
act.
We were in there, and the lovely Amelia was in that one as well. So there was three of us from Hutton News doing Dockers together, which was good. And I got through my accent. So that was a lot of fun. And the lovely Claire Helen did me some fancy nails. So that was another highlight
They were
for me.
splendid. They looked
Yes,
dangerous.
Only to myself. Only to myself.
Yes, you scratch your head halfway through the show and realise you've
Scratch
just
head.
yeah,
Try to
given yourself a lobotomy.
I realised I was in trouble when I tried to lock the hotel room door. Went, no, this can't be how this works. So that was a lot of fun. And just like everybody else said, just seeing so many people that you've not seen for so long, it was brilliant.
Or ever.
Yeah, well, or
in
ever
some
new
cases,
people.
or ever.
I mean, I'm seeing lots of messages from Festa 1902. I'm sure I probably said hi to Festa 1902. I had that wonderful difficulty where when you know people's real names and then you know their commander names and you can't stick the two together easily. And I'm still trying to remember. It was that person I spoke to. Who was that? I remember speaking to somebody. I could picture them as clear can be. Do I know who they actually are in terms of a name?
We had our encounter at the top of the stairs when we were carrying gear into the big room. And he said, I know your voice. Who are you? And I went, I'm the apology officer. And I went, I'm Commander of the Presence.
Well, it was.
And then,
Someone shouted Chris at me down the corridor twice. I didn't look around and they shouted Rampage.
That was me.
It was.
I did that once, yes.
Yeah.
Well, for me, I had a weird highlight in it. I was in the retro room, got all the arcades set up, and Baxter and Stephen Usher did a fantastic job on that room, running the whole room. But I turned up and dropped some computer equipment in there, and I was hanging around by my arcade, and a puppet walked up to me. And the puppet said, I need a selfie with you. And I thought, hang on a second, Jack Little is internet famous. And he's asking for a selfie with me. Oh, this is a bit weird. And I looked quizzically at Jack Little and his gimp. And he said, "Oh no, we have a mutual friend." I said, well, there's a whole building full of them right here. But it turns out that Jack Little actually knows one of my old university mates that I go camping with every single year, that I've known for 20 years. And she had sent him on a mission to go and get a selfie with me, completely out of context. Which was the most random thing. It was lovely. The other one for me was I finally got to meet the Burrs. We've spoken so many times over the years, and we've promoted their show, and there's sort of much love for the Burrs out there from Hutton, but I've never actually met them. They are just the loveliest couple, aren't they? They're the most handsome, loveliest couple I think I've met. I mean, they are just the nicest individuals, and it was a pleasure to meet the pair of them, Burr and Rini, and that for me was one of my highlights, definitely. But, crikey, we've got an outbreak of mods on the stream chat. Has anybody got the big hammer? Because dear. Let me see if I can apply the big hammer to the stream chat.
I want to become famous by buying followers, primes, and viewers.
To the what, hey?
I want to become famous by buying followers, primes, and viewers.
Right, I'm right. Oh dear, Nick's racking the AR-50. Hang on, we have to deal with the mods outbreak in the stream chat. Give me 1 second to try and switch. There we go. It's not letting me do anything with that one.
No, me neither. I've been trying a couple of minutes.
Oh, right. Help. We need a moderator. Oh, dear. The moderator quit. Help. Oh, no. The Wotherspoons also quit. Oh, dear.
I just don't know how to do it. Hang on.
You've discovered how to do it?
She doesn't know how to do it.
I should know how to do it, but just a minute.
Yeah, there you go. Flossy, thank you for saving us. I tell you what, you can wield the thing if you want.
I'm just trying to find.
There we go.
Has it done?
Oh, probably. They haven't said anything else yet. Naughty people. Right. Well, the mods have dealt with the mods outbreak in the stream chat. So yeah. Other than that, it was just as you said before, a really, really nice opportunity to catch up with people. It was lovely to see new commanders there as well. Obviously, I was sharing with Alvin, who did his usual sort of jump on my head, help. Mike's still asleep.
Alvin the guard dog.
Pardon? Alvin the guard dog. Alvin went the full guard dog at some point when he had his run around outside and decided to warn everybody loudly in his own language that he was looking at them and watching them and making sure they weren't misbehaving.
Yes. He did fail as a guard dog when you came back to the room one night, though, didn't he?
Yes, because you would think after a gin drinking session with a certain other David, where we were the last two truckers standing, I may have bounced down one of the corridors back to my room, missed the lock about 20 times with the key, kicked the door open, tripped over everything, and you'd think at this point Alvin would go, "Help, there's a burglar." But he literally just raised one eyebrow at me.
He just went, "It's just Pearson."
It's just a very drunk Hutton trucker. I'll let you off this time. Don't do it again. But yeah, so much fun was had, and obviously yes, there were a couple of late evenings. I think Rampage we managed 2:00 one morning, maybe 3.
2:30.
Yeah. Flossy was sensible and managed 1:00.
6:30.
6 or half
Well, I
6.
think it was about 2:30 the first night.
Oh yeah, on the Friday, which explains why. Yeah, I felt I lost so badly at chess to Hanky.
Didn't try.
But yeah, I mean,
Sure
it was.
that's why you lost.
It was wonderful. But on top of all of that, and the Hutton Live, and the Dockers, and everything else, there was a Frontier live stream
There was.
There was.
Yeah.
on Saturday. Oh, no, before we do that one, though, we do have to say thank you very much to the Hutton team for joining us on the live show last week as well, including Stunt Dav, because real Dav had to scarper, but Stunt Dav, John from Spidermind, came and wore a lab coat and was Stunt Dav. So thank you so much to Frontier for joining us.
He wore a lab house coat, didn't he?
Yeah, it was a bathrobe.
It was a Canon Interstellar bathrobe, even better.
In that
Yes.
room, which was, mind you,
Exactly.
it probably absorbed the sweat.
Yeah, but also it was the opportunity for the Frontier CM team, not being themselves at all, to gently take the mickey out of certain elements of being part of the elite world. But yeah, so we had the live stream before us, and there were many of them. Commander Chicks.
There was Tom, Dom, Derry. I'm trying to make this rhyme. Arf, Zach, and Bruce.
That sounds like a band.
Arf
that does.
sack.
It does,
What's
doesn't
an
it?
arf sack?
What sack?
An arf sack.
An arf sack. Arf Zach.
Oh,
Arf Zach and Bruce. You took. Somebody mentioned. I think it was the apology officer. Being the size you are.
yes.
Talk about objects in the mirror.
Yeah.
Arf is massive in real life, isn't he?
Yes.
He's like looks so small on screen.
He's a big
You
chap.
see him in real life, you think, bloody hell.
There's an extra from Land of the Giants. Yes.
Yes.
Is that absolutely the right size?
Well, potentially.
Well, he's in proportion, but
Yeah,
he's
well, when we needed a voice, because we were trying to encourage bids, weren't we, for the silent auctions for all of the awesome spaceships, and I've, a couple of times I'd sort of shouted at people, I've got a fairly loud voice, and said, make sure you put bids in. But when we had the team photo done, I turned around to Arf and just said, look, we need more bids. Can you? And yeah, this foghorn voice came out from the back of the crowd. He's much louder in real life as well.
Yeah, the irony of that is I didn't hear that at all. I noticed that the bidding had been extended by an hour and it wasn't my turn at whatever game we were playing, so I wandered over there and put in a bid.
I did the same thing. I was there at the same time, and I won the Witch King of Angmar.
It was you.
That was nice.
He's so
It was.
evil. He even
It was
managed
very
to
good.
stab Dylan Wilcott in the way to the van.
Did it arrive home in one piece?
He did. Sword intact and everything.
Excellent.
Yeah,
It
nice.
was really good there.
And Chicks,
Oh, he
you
was evil.
won something in the silent auction as well?
I did.
You did.
I don't like you anymore.
Yeah, I know. I've heard this. Yes, I won the Rocinante from The Expanse,
Which was
a
a bit. I mean, this thing's a foot and a half
fabulous
long,
model.
isn't it? The model.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's pretty big.
There was somebody who won. Was it a spaceship from Aliens during the?
The Solarco. No, I didn't see that go in the raffle.
No,
Which one was
the
in the
one that
raffle?
was in the raffle was the John Hudson from What is it?
Young.
Oh, Starship
From
Troopers?
Starship
No,
Troopers.
yeah, it was from Starship Troopers.
Yeah.
It was the
They're the
Starship Troopers.
Morgan Young or the Brigham
Morgan
Young
or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah,
That
well,
Sulaco was absolutely gorgeous.
The commander who won it actually said, "I have been told to make sure I don't bring home any more prizes or things to stick up in the house or whatever else." And his face when he was handed this 2-foot-long spaceship, that and nearly dropping it, was a picture that I am so dead when I get home.
Was he the guy who won 4 prizes or something? Was that the same?
Oh yeah.
It's funny because there were a lot of multiple winners in the raffle. I noticed, Mr. Rampage. How much you won? 3, didn't you? 4?
Yes.
3?
Yeah.
Including one very special one, Mr. Rampage.
Yes.
Galactic Middens pants.
The Hutton Orbital branded Galactic Middens underpants, which have now been hermetically sealed for your safety.
You do realise they actually vibrate, don't you?
They hum in
Right.
the presence of frameshift drives.
I
Yeah.
wasn't touching them at all.
No.
See with the spaceships and everything, was that all 3D printed?
Yes.
That was incredible. The detail on them was unbelievable.
And thank you so much to the commanders who made them and donated them, and just incredible. And Bam had to go home with an enormous sword as well, which is nearly as tall as he was. But then back to R for a second though. We did pull a fast 1.5.
We did.
Because in the script it said he was going to be talking to the ship's computer. But it wasn't just any ship's computer.
Well, it was a wide choice, wasn't there? But
That sounds like Alvin's gone off on one of the backgrounds.
yeah, there's a barky
it does,
dog down in the street.
Yeah. So
Sounds like quite a large barky dog, right enough. So
well, he got to star alongside Orion, also known as William Shatner from the Hutton Live show, and his face at the end of the broadcast when he was holding it in when he was performing there, but as soon as it ended, his face when he realised he just performed his lines opposite William Shatner was an absolute picture.
yeah, did you see he had a bit of a furrowed brow? You could see him asking himself, "Is this?" At one point, and at the end, he was like, "Did I just do that?"
Yes, but that wasn't the only surprise, Commander Chicks.
Oh, yes. You mean the next bit?
Yeah, I'm going to see if I can put this one up on. Here we go on screen. No, not that one. Not that one. It's that one. There we go.
Yeah, it's the one with the description of it on the yes. So yeah, obviously at Hutton we normally dole out drinking vessels, mugs.
Mug.
And of course, I think it was the one member of the Frontier staff, but certainly of the CM team who wasn't on the stage, was of course Sally, and Sally likes all things pink, so it didn't seem, too big a job to join those. Oh, there it is. To join those particular dots, so she was awarded a pink mug. A pink Hutton mug. So I mugged her and hugged her.
Which it's a one-off, the pink mug, isn't it? It's not a batch made. There is only one of those in the galaxy.
There's only one of them. Yeah.
And
that's
I'm
not a little
so
bit pink either.
Jealous.
And I don't think she's. I don't think she stopped talking about it since.
No, not at all. So yeah, all in all, there's a message from somebody here in the chat saying that they won 2 beginners astronomy books in the raffle, and they run an astronomical society.
Oh, that's a good win.
Which is, hey, you couldn't be more appropriate. I got the Haynes manual guide to the space shuttle, which
very handy.
Pretty sure as it's been retired, I'm never going to get to have a go on that one.
I think LCU won a box full of stuff, didn't he? Yeah.
Oh, and I think Rootsrat walked away with an entire
one I gave
cockpit.
to the little kid sat next to me.
Yeah, and
right.
Terekov got the T9 clock and a non-Hutton mug. Boo.
Yeah,
Is there any such thing?
Rootsrat from the Winged Hussars won the gaming PC. That was pretty cool.
Oh, LCU walked off with a monitor nearly as big as he was.
He did, and that enormous... I don't know which...
I think LCU was on the train as well. I have no idea how he managed to get
He was going on the train with his gigantic monitor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which was in a box with no handle.
But look, It's not necessarily about what we got. It's also about the wonderful generosity of the community. You know, for a lot of people, it's been a terribly hard couple of years financially and everything else at the moment. And it's always nice to see such generosity from the community, giving to the raffle and donating to charity. So, you know, the prizes are awesome. But I tell you what, the best bit is that everybody was given to charity as well. Yeah.
I didn't win anything, but I got lots of things given to me, which is wonderful.
Oh, there were lots of bottles and badges and buckets. Yeah. Now, back on track for a second. We're having more banter this week because, yes, we're excited about last week, but also we haven't got the 2 rares bits and news bits. Commander Chicks.
Yes.
The 21st of July.
Oh, yes. One small step for a man.
One giant leap in on foot Odyssey?
Off this ladder, yes. So, first football on another world was today, 1,339 years ago.
Cool. That's exciting. And hang on a second, let's put a picture up. We've got a picture. No, that's not that one. That's you at the bar. There we go. There's the footfall. But we can't go see that footprint, can we?
No, we're not allowed there. Do you imagine? Well, mind you, given the state of society, I was looking at the hangar at Hutton Orbital today, and there's just rubbish everywhere. Somebody needs to have a word. Floor mopping. Where's floor sweeping guy?
Oh right, it's his busy mate. Yeah.
But you can imagine the moon right now be full of space oaks taking selfies. You know, imagine Armstrong's footprint has had thousands of space oaks sticking their foot in it, so there would be nothing left of it. You know, the descent stage of the Eagle's all covered in graffiti, and there's a bloody McThargoids in Little West Crater. Whatever next?
Well, you should see Colonia. That one keeps it a right mess. Stations out there stink.
It's a bit like you see all these beautiful pictures of the pyramids, and they turn the camera around, and you realise the pyramids are actually completely surrounded by suburbia.
Pretty much.
Yeah. And we've also got, because we missed it last week, because we were said 2 weeks ago that we were going to get the first pictures from James Webb.
Yeah, what were we all excited about coming up, and everyone said Lavecon. No!
We haven't got time for that.
Became operational. It did.
But we're not going to put all the pictures up because I'm sure NASA have got far better versions of this. They call it the dawn of a new era in astronomy has begun as the world gets its first look at the full capabilities of the James Webb Telescope. So we're going to slap that in chat just in case anybody wants to look at that while we're wittering on here. But there are some beautiful pictures.
Yeah.
I mean, not only can you see the Horsehead Nebula, but you can see what breed of horse it actually is.
That's right. Oh, you went with a Don Antonacci voice. You want it in your bed.
Yes, the horse's head in your bed. Yeah, and then obviously, just for gratuitous sake, there's a picture of Hutton truckers at a bar, or you at the bar, looking forlorn because everybody's gone home from Lavecon. Right. Do you hear that? Do you hear it?
No. Do you know what that's the sound of?
It's the sound of...
What is the sound of?
No aardvarks.
There are...
No aardvarks?
No aardvarks. The sound of no
aardvarks.
No!
Aardvark!
Flossy, are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
Here we go.
It's Flossy. It's Flossy. It's Flossy. It's Flossy. And the community goes.
Hello, Flossy here with this week's Community Goals News. Last week's CGs, Defend the Proteus Wave Project, first phase, reached Tier 9 and completed at about 2000 UTC a couple of days ago actually. 1 billion, lots and lots of credits earned. Support federal strike against crime syndicates, finished at Tier 1 with 17,254,448,119 credits earned. Ongoing CG that started on Tuesday, Azimuth's final call for Guardian artifacts. The campaign to deliver a Guardian artifact to Azimuth Biotech in the HIP 22460 system has reached its third phase. Commodore Morag Halloran outlined the final stage of the initiative. We have received an impressive number of Guardian caskets, orbs, relics, tablets, totems and urns at the Bright Sentinel over the past 2 weeks. Thanks to this supply, construction of the Proteus wave has progressed satisfactorily. However, Salvation has requested that further shipments of artifacts are sourced from Guardian sites. There can be no shortfall of these vital components, and the super weapon will make use of every one we can provide. We have projected a substantial increase in the number of Thargoid vessels within HIP 22460 as they react to the increased concentration of technology created by their ancient enemies. Axe fighters and squadrons are asked to continue engaging the enemy's forces to provide safe passage for incoming transports. Pilots who previously contributed to this initiative can collect rewards from the Bright Sentinel megaship in HIP 22460, which is continuing to accept new shipments of Guardian artifacts. The top 75% of contributors will receive an Azimuth Redemption, that's iridescent on black, paint job for the Crate Mark II, Eagle and Fer-de-Lance. The final stage of the campaign begins on 19th of July, or began, and will run for 1 week. If the final target is met earlier than planned, the campaign will end immediately. To earn rewards, you must sign up as an active participant before delivering Guardian caskets, keys, orbs, relics, tablets, totems and urns to the Bright Sentinel megaship in the HIP 22460 system. Our new CG starts today. Defend the Proteus Wave Project Phase 2. Axe Combat. New Federal and Imperial capital ships have arrived in HIP 22460 as Azimuth Biotech's operation nears its conclusion. The following message was provided to all news feeds for public broadcast. This is Salvation. The Proteus Wave's core mechanism will be fully constructed 1 week from today. We will then begin integration with the service site on HIP 22460 10B, using designs of mine which are unique to the superweapons operation. As anticipated, the Thargoid presence in the HIP 22460 system has escalated considerably, providing the sufficient majority of their fleet is within range of the Proteus wave. The casualties will be devastating, enough to drive the Thargoids out of the core systems forever. I urge all superpower affiliated and independent ships to hold the line. Only through determination and sacrifice will we finish our crucial work. In HIP 22460, the Federal Navy and Imperial Navy have each deployed additional capital ships as the conflict has grown in scale and ferocity. These huge vessels are directing large-scale firepower against the Thargoids. Independent pilots are being incentivized to destroy the alien vessels, with opportunities to obtain Salvation's pre-engineered Guardian Ghost cannons. Thargoid combat bonds will be redeemed at the Musashi in the nearby Pleiades sector CWU B3-2 system. The top 50% of contributors will receive 1 medium Salvation Ghost cannon. The top 25% of contributors will receive 2 medium Salvation Ghost cannons. In support of the anti-Thargoid efforts, a variety of axe weapons are now available to purchase at the Musashi. The campaign began today, 21st of July, and will run for 1 week. Shortly after the campaign ends, the rewards will be distributed and a third phase will begin. To earn rewards, you must sign up as an active participant before handing in Pilots Federation combat bonds at the Musashi in the Pleiades sector CW-U B3-2 system. And that's it for this week's CG News.
Flossy told you what to do.
Thank you, Flossy. By heck, all that carnage. Flower people being dead-headed by the bushel. Now on Hutton Radio, it's time for me or Agnes to tell us who's done what the most of what in the Hutton Helper results.
Don't shoot the flower people. Okay, welcome to the Hutton Helper results. The Hutton Helper results are sponsored by the Hutton Helper, the only third-party resource to come with a free duffel coat to keep the sun off. This week we have the following events: the Going to Lavecon Taryn's Taps Aff Spectacular, the Ginger Commander just exploded in a cloud of dust Deja Vu Trophy, the Sleeping with your head in the freezer challenge, and the Ice Lolly up your arse to keep cool Champion of Champions Championship. The Sun Has Got His Hat On Charity Shield, and the Spontaneous Human Combustion Extravaganza. So, lie in a bath of ice, the daytime is not your friend, and do not go outside where the big yellow burny thing is in the sky. This week's Hutton Helper results are: Ouster Angel jumped 75,000 light years, to come first in distance travelled. M. Gray sold 23,000 tonnes of goodies. Top mission runner is The Berk with 96 mission points. Come on, people, you can do better than that. Attic 2 cashed in 111 million credits worth of bounties. Janix handed in 605 million credits of combat bonds. And M. Gray delivered 212 people to their various destinations. Again, low-hanging fruit, you need to go for these. It's also worth mentioning that Commander Chicks handed in a whopping 36 billion credits worth of exploration data, and we still didn't win gold. So, decals there for Ouster Angel. Please email actookpart@huttonorbital.com and arrange to collect your Hutton decal kit, which this week consists of an asbestos suit, a welder's helmet, a Hutton template, and some Factor 1000 sunblock. We have had 4 Hutton runs this week. Retired Navy IT1 made the run in 1 hour, 24 minutes and 17 seconds. Not the best run, but still a respectable 167th place. Ricardo D'Aleppo got to Hutton in 1 hour, 24 minutes and 21 seconds for 179th place overall. Excuse me. Oh. And Faithful Lee got to Hutton in 1 hour, 24 minutes, 41 seconds, and that was for 218th place. Our very own Commander Chicks did the Hutton run in 1 hour, 30 minutes, 11 seconds for 493rd place. That's not bad for a man with the mods. And that's that. So, there is a whole galaxy out there of stuff needing shipped, shot, rescued, looted, repaired, destroyed, squeezed, bought, sold, inflated, burnt, frozen, liquidated, evaporated, sandblasted, sponged down, smelled, licked, extruded, discombobulated, recombobulated, rubbed, compressed, enveloped, siphoned, regurgitated, strained, fermented, poached, interrobanged, upcycled, violently downcycled, smelted, and probinated. And you can earn yourself a very fetching Hutton decal for doing it. To get involved, you just have to go to hot.forthemug.com and download or sign up for the delicious new Hutton Helper, available in 3 exciting formats. Let's face it, anything has to be better than waking up hungry, smelling delicious barbecue food, and then realising that it's you and you've stayed out in the sun for too long. Anyway, that's it from me. It's back to Studio 5.
Thank you very much to the apology officer. We must remember to send out those decals from last week. I'll prod myself later. Oh, have I lost everybody? Apology officer fell off the chair. Are you there? The apology
No, I'm
officer?
still here.
I was saying, you need to poke me with sticks until I remember to send whoever it was. Was it Bruce who beat the hanky at Cheese?
Yeah.
And the decals from last week as well to the audience.
There weren't any to the audience last week.
There weren't. No, well, we'll give some out anyway. Interesting question, actually, on Flossy's bit as well. There was a question came in from chat saying, if Salvation's going to marmalise all the Thargoids, why on earth is he giving away AX weaponry? It's because there's a Phase 3, and we might need it for Phase 3. That's why. And Karumba says, shoot them all! Yeah, thank you very much, Karumba. Yes. Save the flower people.
Don't shoot the flower people.
Yeah, no. It is a green room week next week. So all those people in chat, if you're having double trouble getting over your Lavecon blues, don't forget you can come into the green room next week and actually have a chat with us, and you can tell us about your experiences at Lavecon. Flossie, if they are trying to connect up with us on the green room next Thursday evening at some point during the evening, where do they go?
They go to ts.foldermug.com, which is not a website, it's a TeamSpeak server.
Yes, and you don't need a password, and you'll find Green Room Silent, where you can just listen, and then you can find Green Room stuff's going on as well. Assuming we can find Commander Lenin, I think it's Lenin, and get the Green Room feed working again, because I think we broke it. I think maybe Palantir went home with it. We have an urgent update from Commander Shouty about Too Hot, Too Messy. The mugging mission.
Right.
Yes. I'm going to read this one because I cut and pasted it and found it. He says, and I'm not even going to try and do his accent, right, you horrible truckers, next Thursday, that's during the Green Room show, we're going to begin the huge task of loading up commanders with enough mugs and gin to begin our mission of delivering a mug and bottle of mega gin to every single station in the galaxy. Which means next Thursday we don't start delivering the mugs. We're going to do loading up. So during the show next week, we want to see everybody out at Hutton Orbital loading up, please. And there will be small and medium ships required to haul things out to the large ships. We're going to need large ships to haul things to the plate carriers. So if you're in this chat and you want something to do next Thursday evening, get to Hutton Orbital. Don't start at the start of the show because you might arrive in time for the end of the show. But yeah, do get to Hutton Orbital ready for loading up. There'll be a bunch of us, I'd imagine, in the Hutton private group, but there'll be people in open and your own private groups as well. And just basically turn up, shout in chat, I'm here, who needs loading? Or load me. And somebody will help you. Mr. Shouty also says, after a brief consultation with Mug Gods, we decided that 3 mugs as prizes isn't enough for an event like this. So instead we're going to give away a mug every single week until it is completed. There have been very few opportunities for people to win that many mugs over that period of time. So the week after the Green Room week, so that'll be the 4th, we are during the show going to hit go. There will be the ceremonial delivering of the first mug, at which point you can start doing your mug and gin deliveries as tracked by the Hutton Helper, and Mr. Shouty, through complicated mathematics involving Intarius Fusion, is going to decide every single week who gets a mug. Obviously it is 1 mug per person. You can't win all the mugs by being a complete legend and doing all the deliveries yourself, and we're looking at you, please, the Winged Hussars. But anyway, yes, we're going to be giving away a mug every single week. So everybody who has delivered 10 mugs and 10 gins within that week will be entered into a draw for a Hutton mug. There will also be some special prizes during the event, which might finish by Christmas, including a complete set of ED battle cards, a copy of the ED RPG book, some Hutton decals, that sort of thing. So anybody who says, how do I win a mug? It's you deliver more than 10 mugs and gin during the week, every week until the project's completed, and you will go in the draw. If there's only one of you, guess what? You're getting a mug. So we will need you to download and install the Hutton Helper, get some mugs and mega gin from Hutton Orbital, and then deliver them all until every station in the galaxy, that's 130,000 stations and settlements, and maybe more than that, who have got a commodity market or a black market, has 1 mug and 1 gin. We do expect stories of magnificent daring and utter stupidity. Watch out for those 10G worlds. Tales of lost mugs and spelt gin. pancakes into planets and overshooting stations. We may need to fight, we may need to teabag, but we need you, the listener. So that's it. Deliver mugs and gin to every station. If you already have a mug, though, we will redraw someone who hasn't, so no being greedy. We will be commencing the teabagging on Thursday, 28th, for loading up, but obviously a big bit of it during the show. Do comment on the thread, which is on the forums. I'm going to paste a link into the chat now. No, that's completely the wrong piece of text, David. I've lost it. There we go. I'm posting it into the chat now. There is a forum thread about what we're up to, which we're going to start populating with who's loading up. There will be an event page, a Too Hot Too Messy page on hot.forthemug.com, which is a website and not a TeamSpeak channel, just in case anyone's confused. And it will actually tell you what's been mugged, and it will log your muggings as you go. Obviously, the nearby stations are going to get done fairly quickly. I'd imagine someone's going to make a run out to Colonia fairly quickly. But there are a lot more stations than there were before. Do not deliver before the ceremonial first mug, as it won't count, and you're going to have to go back and do it again. As Mr. Shouty says, most of all, please, everybody, have fun for the mug and gin.
Mug.
And gin.
And gin. Other than that, is there anything else we need to add this evening, other than thanks to the radio crew, not Q, we're going to queue at the bar afterwards, for joining us. So does anybody have anything to add before we do the end of the thing?
Aardvark.
Well,
Aardvarks?
yeah, there's the aardvark. There's also the thing that we always say at the end of Hutton News. It's time for Chicks to remove his headphones.
Ah.
It's that thing, isn't it?
Yeah, but she's
And we
not
don't
here,
even,
so...
She's not here. So, will I do it?
Go
Will
on.
I do it?
Further recording.
For the mug!
Mug!
Mug! Mug! Mug!
I wanted Rampage to say foot mug.
Fit mug. Fit mug.
No journey too long and no cargo too small. The profit margins never really mattered at all. We're gonna take the cargo where it's needed today. Super cruising all across the Milky Way. We'll take anything, anytime, anywhere. Loading up the T-Nights to the brim with grain. For the mug, yeah, you know just where we're coming from. For the mug, now everybody sing the Hutton Trucker song. For the mug. Flossy always seems to crash into the sun. Swivel likes the pilot on the Xbox One. Alvin at the front, you know he leads us well. Trucking across the galaxy, now everybody yell. For the mug, yeah, you know just where we're coming from. For the mug, now everybody sing the Hutton Trucker song. For the mug, yeah, you know just where we're coming from. For the mug, now everybody sing the Hutton Trucker song. Give me a large pad that I can land on, and I'll give you my cargo and sing you my song. North Part 22 light years to go. Cruising to Hutton, whoa, whoa, whoa. No journey too long and no cargo too small. The profit margins never really mattered at all. We're gonna take the cargo where it's needed today. Super cruising all across the Milky Way. We'll take anything, anytime, anywhere. So shout it out loud like you don't even care. For the mug, yeah, you know just where we're coming from. For the mug, now everybody sing the Hutton Trucker
ladies and gentlemen, that's
the end of the show.
Everyone's buggered off. Why don't you
bugger
bugger off
off
too?